Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Corrupt Crew Chronicles. Yeah, so as I was saying, on the other video, that, those of us who've been kicked out and, especially those of us who, again, didn't, and those of us who were, as far as I know, none of us committed any crimes, weren't in there stealing, definitely wasn't in there doing anything sexually inappropriate, with children or, grown folks, anything like that. So I can only speak for myself in the situation. As far as for my situation, my personal situation, why I got kicked out, and I wanted to go through that, they're going to look at that. I check that box for other, and that's one of the things that I put on that 13909 for other, that I was kicked out for no good reason, and for that IRS form, for a tax exempt organization. That's a business. You can't just kick somebody out like that. He has no authority. He has no right. He has no rule. And when I say he, I'm talking about that circus cult leader, Shitty One. So he fucked up. Like I said, he just a fuck up. Let me just go ahead and put that on out. He's just a fuck up. Nigga bomb one. He is. So he really did, with me when he kicked me out. I didn't get belligerent. I didn't get sitting up here and start getting all loud or anything like that. And I stayed after. If I had a problem with it, like I said, I stayed after for the meeting. And I've been putting it on these things. The reason why I got kicked out, because I didn't want to go back there and exercise. That's the truth. That's truth. You kick somebody out of a 501c3 tax exempt organization because they don't want to go back there and exercise. He doesn't own that. Just because he's an officer on that. And he started it, the people own that circus cult. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And then that's why I say to the ones who say, oh, I don't want my money back. That's fine. Nobody, asked you about that. And I don't want, talking about, I would like to get my money. Yeah, because, but the reason why I said about this class action lawsuit is because of the injuries that we have suffered. And when I say we, I'm talking about the ones who have joined in for the class action lawsuit. Yeah, I asked, because I didn't know what, these different law firms may ask me. So, I did, in my email, you all know the questions that I asked you all for the information, because I didn't want to sit here and be like, well, I don't know, if they ask me that or whatever, be looking like, oh, and it's like, well, can you get the information and get back with us and all this, doing this ping pong back and forth? No. No, not at all. So, when folks say that, talking about, I don't want my money back, nobody asked you. Nobody asked you about that. It's not about that with this. It's about injury. It's personal injury. Folks were belittled. Folks were berated, degraded, embarrassed, confidential information put out about them that they told circus cult leader, Shitty One, in confidence. That information about my Chapter 13 bankruptcy, that shouldn't have never been told, except coming out of my mouth. And I'm talking about with him, because he is in that, and when I say him, I'm talking about that service code leader, Shitty One, because he has a position that people are coming and telling him confidential information that he's not supposed to be sharing. That's what I am trying to sit here and get a class action lawsuit about. I want to make that quite clear. Like I said, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And those of us who, those who said they want to go in and, with the class action lawsuit, they know what they doing too. Now, for real, they've been injured. Look, him sitting up there, standing up there, making fun of Sister Keita, talking about she faking with her medical conditions, her health conditions. Come find out, yeah, she's an epileptic. She has epilepsy. She has seizures. She's on anti-seizure medication to this day, right now. She has the medical records to prove. And she gave me the green light to talk about this. I've talked about it on another video. She has lupus and also Sjogren's syndrome. Come on. So who's faking? Standing up there talking about calling her husband slow. Brother Joe. Like he got some mental disorder. Like he can't function correctly. This man's slow. He retarded, basically. He sat up there and did that. That Brother Joe now slowed down. I already went through all that. That man somewhere worked on a doggone job for a good job. 18 years. Quit it to come down there to that shit. To keep his family together. Separate talked about they son Taj, talking his eyes red because he's smoking. Need to give him a marijuana test. And his eyes is red because he has allergies. And like I said, Sister Keita has allergies. Their daughter Tim has allergies, and Taj has allergies. They all three got allergies, and that's one of the signs that when they being affected is red eyes, and it's very high down there with the pollen count. Down there in Georgia, yeah, it's very high. Even when you don't see the pollen, it's still high. That pollen count down there. You can get online and see about that. What about the sister who sat here in her household? She kept the tithes. She kept the tithes or whatever because she needed to sit her buy groceries and take care of other stuff in her household. He's sitting up there making fun of her. Talking about, talking about the shoe bread. Because she made that example, gave that example. I'll never forget that. And then made videos on her, and other ones who were left around at the same time. But he really wore her out on threefold. Just kept on. Every service week, one after the other. Like about 4 services. Standing up there on live streaming. Woman's over there in that funeral home. What about her? What about the one brother sitting up here talking about from Philadelphia? He even sat up here just took this brother to the financial cleaners. $3 million of inheritance, talking about property and money? For real. Yeah, I said it'd be hot too, real hot. Like, first of all, that's my inheritance. And his mother gave it to him early. His mother gave it to him early. All because, like I said, that circus code leader had dollar signs in his eyes when he was looking at that brother. Property, money, just gone. And like I said, this brother sitting here and his mother passed away in a nursing home. When she should, like I said, if she had to be in like some type of assisted living, she should have been in a high-end assisted living where they private duty nurse care. They had that type of money. Now, his own children that he had, some of this brother from Philadelphia, no inheritance for them. No money. No, then on down to the grandchildren, to grandchildren. And everything. Generational wealth just cut off because of this source code leader. What about the brother who got the barbershop? Set up here and made him leave from family business. Got all kind of money from him, put the amount on there. I said, whoa, yeah. So no, it's not about, just simple time about money somebody put in. No, it's injuries. The good sister up there in the Midwest, You know, I talked about her on one of the videos. The embarrassment. She sit up here, get a package from the mother who's deceased now, who didn't, passed on, of her clothes, her own old clothes. Like I said, wasn't even new stuff. Like I said, do you know how embarrassing it was for his sister? And then I remember him standing up there with saying and knowing who he was talking about her clothes, the way she was dressing. Wasn't nothing wrong with her clothes, the way she was dressing. Like I said, she was clean. Her clothes were clean, pressed. Her children were clean. Their clothes were clean and pressed. What? Just wasn't your style. Wasn't that nigga bum one style. So cult leader style. Because he got to have super guy that have control over everything. So yeah. No, it's about injuries, personal injury. It's no different if you sit here and go out here and you get hit by a fucking Mack truck. Whether you sit up here and you sit up here in a car or whatever, get into a car accident. Mental anguish. One sit up here talking depressed. They sit up here depressed. One do depression. The one do counseling. Sit up here broke up marriages of the one. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into all that because a lot of it was just given to me in confidence. And I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about suing for. Yeah, personal injury. If we could sit up here and get it. And hopefully with that email sent out, like the brother said, what the barbershop said, he said this will help. He said this will get us some help after all. Yeah, because I sent it out to all them people. Listed on there. Them agencies, the top folks. And I'm going to ask. I sure am. I ain't afraid to ask about nothing. Sure not. I don't have no shame in asking about anything that I'm sitting up here and do. Look, what? The worst thing they can say is no. Say no, can't do no. We don't be able to do that. No, can't help you with that or whatever. Okay, you'll never know unless you ask. I mean that for real. Mean that. I'm gonna sit up and tell me about my personal injury, what I went through. Being belittled, berated, embarrassed, joked on for no reason. I'm sitting there minding my own business in the doggone dining hall. Am you gonna work out? Well, no, I didn't bring my exercise clothes. Yeah, gonna go ahead and start. Amber, you gonna work? Then come back. Amber, you gonna work out? What? Leave me alone. Like I said, yeah, I said returning to the predator. Show have on your ass. I mean that. I do mean that. I mean what I say. I click off, boy. Like I said, no, he don't know his members. Sure not. You didn't know me. Like I said, he met my representative. For real. Because like I said, sure enough, in my personal life, folks can tell you the ones who from the cradle on up. They be like, nah, Emma not the one you want to fuck with. She is not the one you want to fuck with. She is not. You want to leave her alone. Because when she sit here and she gets set off on something, like I said, I am relentless. I am ruthless. And I am unmerciful. And that's to you, shitty one, service code leader, and your corrupt crew. Put them on up in there too. For real. And I meant what I said when I said I don't want to be bothered with none of y'all. You come out of there for these doors closed, well, don't contact me. And I mean that. Don't fix your mouth to even ask about me for anybody else who's gone from up out of there. And I do mean that. I find out about it, I'm putting you on blast. I'm putting it out here on the video, and whoever don't like it, you can click off this fucking video. You don't have to come to my channel. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's like that. And I mean that for real. I mean that. Ain't taking nothing back. Like I said, I'm not clicked up, yoked up with anybody like that. Sure enough not. Roll on my own with divine spirit and my ancestors. For real. Mean that. And I do mean that. And like I said, this train is going full speed ahead, this locomotive. I mean that. Nothing stopping it. So whatever you thinking, service code leader, shitty one, nigga bum one, chief of the terrors, commander in chief of the clowns, you go ahead and get that on out your mind. I mean that. I mean that. Because it's not going to work. It's not. You and the rest of your corrupt crew in there. Y'all going to take this. Like I said, I'm getting my licks back. And like I told my brothers and sisters who's gone away from up out of there, we going to get our licks back in on you. And it's not going to be by violence. It's going to be by these 3, 4, and 5-letter agencies. And I do mean that. And possibly through a lawsuit. This class action lawsuit, I'm not playing. Not at all. Because I'm going to be petitioning for that. Like I said, you should never fuck with me. I'm unfuckwithable. But you never should have tried it. For real. Because I'm going to show you better, I can tell you. And I mean that. I mean that. I do mean that, shitty one. You hear me, boy? I'm not playing with you, boy. Boy, I'm not playing with you. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this video short. And I'll be back with another video. But until that time, I'm signing out.